Tracks, Linux, rims, Norwegian movies and more right here, right now. Greetings petrolheads and welcome to romrom.net, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and to a regular news roundup. Welcome to the channel, thank you for stopping by. My name is Serta and I will be your host for this video. When time permits, please consider subscribing, we would greatly appreciate it. If you have any news for us, send us a mail to news@romrom.net. Getting it out there, many hotfixes in Automobilista 2, yet another Assetto Corsa Competizione update, 2 hotfixes for Wreckfest. Now that we have gone through that, here's some real weekly sim racing news for you. In an extensive Q&A session, Studio 397 have given some glimpses in what they plan to do and not do with regards to tracks in the sim in the future. With regards to the graphics enhancements they call PBR, they have reiterated their intention to extend the PBR treatment to all tracks they have officially released. But of course, the older tracks only get worked upon when the track team has nothing else to do. In between new tracks, so to speak. With regards to the tracks done by KartSim and Reza, they of course can't tell. Also, they have made it clear that there will be no local weather inside a track. Local weather is when a track sometimes is wet on one side but dry on the other. While their system allows for it and they themselves consider it a good idea, it's not something that is on the roadmap and possibly won't be anytime soon. But never say never. Another question we've heard many times is if the tracks that will be included in future motorsport game sims will also appear on rFactor 2, to which Studio 397 answered with a definitive maybe. The thing is, they would like to have the licensing of the tracks set up so that they can also use the licenses for rFactor 2, but that will have to happen in a case-by-case basis. Not only because it would make the licenses more expensive, but also because sometimes the track configurations are very specific to the series. Also, on the technical side, while NASCAR and KartCraft are using the Unreal Engine, rFactor 2 is not, and that may have some impact in the programming of a port, as will the fact that, for example, NASCAR will also appear in consoles like the Switch. Oh, and a definitive no to any official roaming track, while of course the modding community is free to do as they wish, as well as a definitive no to any track packs similar to what Reza are doing over there in Automobilista 2. Talking about Automobilista 2, when asked about historic versions, Studio 397 seem not to be big friends of the idea, so don't expect historic versions coming from them anytime soon. Oh well, we'll always have Automobilista 2. Also, while they considered the historic real weather that Automobilista 2 brings a great feature, they are not going to implement this in rFactor 2 anytime soon, if at all. With regards to a question about wind and dynamic track temperature in the NASCAR sim and the porting of those to rFactor 2, the wink wink nudge nudge answer was, ask me again after release of NASCAR 21. Speaking about hints, they seem to be working on getting particles other than rain, think grass or gravel here, programmed more realistically. Ooh, and when asked if there were going to be more fictional tracks like Loch Drummond coming from Studio 397, we got the juicy tidbit that sometimes some members of Studio 397 release tracks as mods under a pseudonym. Glad to see they love their own product that much. About more new tracks, we got told they are working on a non-European track right now. Who knows which it'll be. Oh, and it seems the DLC system they have in place in Steam was recommended to them by Valve themselves, and things like showing which DLCs you already have and being able to only buy what you don't have has been something they have asked Valve to implement repeatedly. This was a very interesting Q&A session indeed, and they seem to want to do those every 2 weeks. Here's looking forward to the next one, which will be more centered around cars. Seemingly based on a famous Norwegian stop-motion movie from 1975, Pinchcliffe Grand Prix will retell the story of the movie with minigames and quote-unquote high-octane races from November 4th on, on PC through Steam and Switch. Called in the original Norwegian Pinchcliffe Grand Prix, and apologies if I butchered the pronunciation, it seems there already were PC and Nintendo DS games based on the same idea 20 years ago. And while there's no big multiplayer, at least you will be able to race with one more person in split screen. The graphics look nice enough for us to try and build the racing car Il Tempo Gigante in story mode, racing against the mean tricks of our opponents while using the enhancements of our car to let them know we are faster. It's true there are sadly not many games coming out for the Linux operating system, even less racing games and sims. Heck, not even the server software for The Sims is made for Linux, even at a time where the most servers out there run Linux, even those of Microsoft Azure. But as with everything Linux, there are intrepid people who love to tweak a system till it fits, and after tweaking for a long while, we can confirm you will be able to race Raceroom racing experience on your Linux system thanks to them and to changes involved compatibility software Proton, a well-known system that is set up as a layer between Steam games and the Linux OS. According to the communication we read, the users can now race on Raceroom racing experience in all modes, including multiplayer races. We have not been able to test it as the only Linux PC we have is running server software and is far away from a racing rig. If you want to know more about it, see the link in our description. Oh, and hi Lalo, we saw you being very active in the discussion, as was to be expected. After ignoring the changes in the calendar completely last year, this year Codemasters could not try those shenanigans again, and we suppose reluctantly have already added Imola to the game as free update after adding the wonderful Portimao last month. The Jeddah Street Circuit won't be coming until next month, but the race won't be until then either, so we're not protesting too much. They've also added some liveries and eliminated a couple of small bugs. If you like this video and would like to see more and better produced ones, consider becoming a patron, thus letting us spread our wings. And a big thank you to our first patron! With their marketing bullshit blah blah on full speed, Fanatec announces the introduction of the Podium Steering Wheel Fanatec GT World Challenge. Quote, a special product bundle designed for pro esports competition. End quote. If you, like us, are asking yourself what the heck the Podium Steering Wheel Fanatec GT World Challenge bundle is, it's the combination of a new leather 320mm wheel rim, the Podium Hub, Podium Button Module Endurance, and Podium Advanced Paddle Module. The bundle is already available at the Fanatec store for €630. If you don't want to shell that much, you can also get the Club Sport Wheel Rim 320 separately in leather, or if you prefer not to use dead animals in Alcantara, for €130. But that is only the rim without any buttons or a way to connect it to your base. Contrary to what is normally used in GT racing, the rim is completely round, which is surprising to say the least. In other news related to Fanatec, the Alfa Romeo Racing Orlen F1 Esports will be using Fanatec podium bases and CSL Elite pedals from now on. No information has been given about how much money Fanatec paid for this endorsement, if at all. If we could, we would give you the world, but all we can give you is tons of videos sharing the joy of sim racing. Check the playlist to the left or the video to the right. Until next time, save fuel, collect pickup, and we'll see each other on the podium.